Tonight we're talking about 7 tips to making friends with your body. I want to start by setting the scene, if I can. So imagine you've just got out of the shower and you're toweling yourself off in front of the mirror in the bathroom. And you're looking at yourself in the mirror. That's the first thing I want you to consider, is looking at yourself, at your naked body in front of the mirror. And I want you to be very honest and answer these questions. When you look in the mirror, who do you see? Do you see someone you love or someone you loathe? Or aren't you really that interested at all? You're more apathetic about what you're seeing. The second thing I'd like you to consider is when you look in the mirror, how do you feel? Do you feel appreciative of your reflection, of your body? Or are you disgusted by what you see in the mirror in your bathroom? The third question I want you to consider is, what thoughts do you think as you're toweling off, looking at yourself in the mirror? Are they thoughts of criticism, critical thoughts of yourself? Or are they complimentary thoughts where you look at yourself and say, I look pretty good, look at me, I'm pretty good, all of this is working out for me? And the fourth question I'd like you to answer is, what do you wish for when you look at your reflection, your naked reflection in the mirror in the bathroom? Do you wish for a flatter tummy, or bigger breasts or smaller breasts, or more muscles or less flab? Do you grab hold of yourself and screw your face up and go, oh, I hate that? Your answers to these 4 fundamental questions are predictors of your health and well-being. Whether you view yourself with gratitude and love, or disdain and displeasure, you set in motion your future health and diagnosis, because, as we know, we influence everything in our lives. Over the past decades, billions of dollars have been made by corporations capitalizing on our misguided belief that our body is somehow out to get us, that we must control our body by sheer force of will to make it healthy, fit and fabulous. But our body is not an enemy. It's not an enemy to be vanquished, it's our greatest friend. And the most remarkable guidance and operating system, if we only learned how it works and how to actually use it for our benefit. Many people still believe that we are just organic beings. I talk about this a lot, that we're just flesh and blood and bone and that's it. What we see here is all there is to us. So many people believe that health is arbitrary or because of our genes. Yet it has been proven, scientifically proven, that this is not correct and that we influence our health and well-being on all levels. As far back as 1985, Dr. Candace Pert published groundbreaking research showing that our feelings and our emotions can trigger peptides to carry chemical messages throughout our body, which chemically change the cells in our body. Her research demonstrated that our mind and body are not separate and that we cannot treat one without the other. Yet so many people still think that disease is random. They believe some people are blessed with good health while they are not. The difference here is not genes or good luck, it's mindset. It's resonant energy, because we influence everything in our personal reality, and particularly and especially our body. Since everything is energy, it means that our body is the expression of our resonant frequency at every moment in our lives. I know that sounds maybe a little hard to understand, But we need to take responsibility. We need to take responsibility. Better than any medical book, our body gives us messages all the time as to what we need to know. When we resonate at the higher frequency of love and appreciation and joy and peace and enlightenment, our bodies naturally demonstrate super health. When we resonate at the lower frequencies of anxiety and stress and anger and fear and depression, our bodies try to get our attention. Firstly, they do this through subtle messages, like little niggling sensations, such as maybe we'll get a cold, or maybe a bit of stiffness in our joints, or even maybe a small injury, like we might cut our finger, chopping up the vegetables, or we get a splinter, or we bump our head or bump our knee on something. I call these whispers, and they are reminders that we are not resonating at the highest frequency aligned with our desires or with our inner being. If we ignore these whispers, they'll turn into shouts, screaming at us with greater and greater episodes, trying to get our attention, and then discomfort and disease will eventually run rampant through our bodies. Look at it this way. I'm going to give you this example. This might help you. Imagine a square piece of vinyl. Its energy resonates at a frequency which holds its discernible presence, its cohesive pattern of a square piece of vinyl. If we push our fist into the vinyl, the pressure pushing into it distorts its shape. The same is true for our physical body. When we repeatedly resonate at the lower energetic frequencies, and when we repeatedly criticize and depreciate and abuse and use our bodies as a defense against the world, we apply pressure to its discernible presence. The pattern of energy, our body, becomes denser, our energy becomes blocked, doesn't flow freely, and we force our bodies out of shape and into dis-ease. In the example of the vinyl square, the moment we remove our fist and relieve the pressure, the square returns to its original shape, its original pattern of energy. And this is the same for us. When we relieve the pressure and stress and stop using our bodies as a shield against the world, what's called healing occurs, which is actually revealing, and our body returns to its natural state of super health and well-being. Any deformity, disease, dissonance, or distress we experience is because we repeatedly resonate at low energetic frequencies which trigger chemical messages in our brain, which in turn change the cellular structure in our body. Like everything else in our personal reality, our physiology and health are the demonstration of our energetic resonance. As a dancer for many, many years in my early career, I remember being one of those people who constantly was controlling their body, either through diet or exercise, or I'd try this or I'd try that, eat less, exercise more, lower calories, higher calorie burn out, really controlling my body to make sure that it stayed within the parameters of the weight that was necessary for a professional dancer. I remember doing this, and now in hindsight, I look back and I go, my goodness, didn't I live so much of my life in struggle with this wonderful, wonderful vehicle? We were nearly at war with each other. And, really, it tried to show me on so many occasions that I was so off track and so misaligned And of course, it would be little things to begin with. I'd get a cold, or I'd get a sore shoulder, or knees. Knees were a big one. They always say for dancers, knees. I wonder if that's because knees means stubborn ego and pride. Interesting. We'd always get sore knees. We'd get our underpinnings knocked out from underneath us. There's so much that's there, wisdom that's there, metaphysical wisdom that's there, that I did not know that at the time. But boy, oh boy, in hindsight, I realized that whenever I lived with joyous expectation, my body worked a charm. But when I experienced prolonged periods of stress and fear and conflict, my body began to break down, bit by bit by bit by bit, different pieces breaking down, trying to get my attention as I spiraled headlong into a mental breakdown. Our body is a sophisticated system, always trying to get our attention and telling us what we need to do to realign and readjust our energy to get back in the flow of the highest frequencies again. We have a responsibility to honor and value our bodies on the physical plane. That's where we are. We're on the physical plane. Even though we're energetic beings having a human experience, we are here on this physical plane. And we need to value and honor our bodies and not see them as something that's working against us. We need to care for, love, and provide our embodiment, this presence, with the best nutrients, exercise, hydration, and restorative sleep that we can. That helps the body function most effectively. If we respect our car to get it serviced and to check the tire pressure and to check the water and everything else, surely we must have that much respect for this vehicle, for this body. With movable joints, our bodies are made to move, okay? We have joints that move and not sit inactively hunched over in front of devices and electronic screens, etc., hour after hour after hour. Like, duh, it's so obvious. Research in recent years has illustrated the outstanding benefits of exercise in reducing the risk of dementia, slowing aging, protecting and improving brain function, and promoting psychological health and good mood. The consequences of a sedentary life are vastly reported, and they are very grim. People with low levels of physical exercise are at a higher risk of worsening back pain, depression, anxiety, and of early death through many different kinds of cancers, Alzheimer's, and heart disease. It's not that we don't know this. I'm not telling you anything new. We've known this for at least 30 years, the benefits of physical exercise. It's just that we don't act on it. And if the coronavirus is teaching us anything, it's showing us that anyone with a pre-existing condition is at risk of infection, or at least higher risk of infection. So whether it's a stick or a carrot that gets you off the couch, get up and move. Remaining properly hydrated, of course, is also crucial to our physical health and brain function. Water is the best nutrient because it detoxifies, aids in exercise recovery, hydrates the skin, and increases metabolism. Most of the time people eat because they're thirsty. Think about it next time for you when you reach for something. Are you reaching for it because you're hungry? Or is it perhaps you're thirsty, you're dehydrated? Sipping 8 glasses of water a day is definitely going to help to keep the doctor away. Then there's our ultimate life-sustaining preventative measure, our breath. Filling our lungs deeply and controlling the rhythm of our breath increases the oxygen permeation in our body and our blood vessels, which in turn reduces inflammation. And that's what we want to do. We want to reduce inflammation in our body. When we energize ourselves with conscious deep breathing, we resonate again at higher energetic frequencies and create an internal environment which is less likely to foster infection. Though many don't realise it as well, sleep deprivation can have serious short-term and long-term consequences, including delayed reaction times, glucose levels, mood, headaches, impaired memory and focus, and hormone imbalances. Not enough restorative sleep has been shown to shrink the brain. Get those 8 hours, get them in, go down deep. You need that REM sleep. The way our brain processes information, consolidates memories, makes connections, and clears out toxins suffers when we deprive it of healthy deep sleep. That's why they use sleep deprivation as a torture, because it is torturous. We've all been that exhausted. So if your body is telling you sleep, improve your sleeping habits, because it improves your brain and in turn improves your mindset, which in turn, of course, improves your body. What we don't realize is that living healthy, healthful lives is our birthright. That is the birthright that we all have. Excusing ourselves from being healthy by blaming our genes, by blaming circumstances or conditions, is an erroneous, disempowering belief. Dr. Deepak Chopra and Rudolf E. Tanzi wrote a book entitled Super Genes, Unlocking the Astounding Power of Your DNA for Optimum Health and Well-Being. And they talked about that everything we do, every choice we make, whether it's a good or a bad habit, is changing our genetic activity. So we're now in the area of epigenetics, and they've proven that we literally can change our genetic structure by what we think, by what we feel. It is so important for us to realize that we are the masters of our health. Since we're energetic beings, it really does behoove us not to fall into fear during the coronavirus health crisis, because it will surely change the chemical messages in our brain into our body, and we will become more susceptible for that which we fear most, infection. If we don't want to be a petri dish for the virus, let's look at elevating our energetic frequency and ensuring that we have a body that cannot support that infection. So tonight was all about 7 tips for making friends with your body. And like any good friendship, they are founded on certain qualities. So here they are if you wanted to grab a pen and paper. The first tip is listen. The most important thing to do is to pay attention to the messages your body gives you. Most of the time we are just living so unconsciously, we're not paying attention. If you stub your toes, stop and go, right, what was I thinking? What was I feeling? What have I been thinking? Have I been thinking that life is hard to get through? Boom, there it is. It's there all the time, everybody. It's there all the time. If you have something wrong with your eye and you've had something in your eye, stop, think, why have I got this in my eye? Why is my eye so sore? Can I clearly see my future? Or am I sort of walking around like this in my life? There are answers to everything that your body is telling you. And if you really want to explore this more fully, I highly suggest you grab this wonderful little book by Louise L. Hay, and it's called Heal Your Body. This book has been out for ages and you can still get it. And she has collated over many, many years. Louise has now dematerialized to the other side. And in here she writes down all the different little diseases or injuries, etc., and she talks about the metaphysical cause of them, or the belief that we're holding on to, and then she gives a little affirmation on what to focus on to move away from it. Great little book. First thing we need to do is to listen, to pay attention, and to realize that our body is a wonderful guidance system, and to appreciate it, to give thanks for that, to actually realize that this is the only thing in our life we can't trade in. We can trade in our cars, we can trade in our houses, we can trade in our partners. Sometimes some people trade in their kids. But we can't trade in our body, okay? So really appreciate that. That's the first point, is to listen. The second point in this great friendship that you're going to develop with your body is to trust. Trust that it knows what it's doing. If we are resonating at the highest frequencies, if we are staying aligned and adjusted with our energy to our being, to our desires, to that which actually lights us up, we will automatically allow our body to demonstrate super health and well-being. So we need to trust that when it's giving us messages, that we act on them. We go, what's that? There's a message there. What is that about? Develop an intuitive relationship with your body. It won't lead us astray. We just need to learn how to read the signs. And that's why this little book is such a godsend. I have used this for the last 30 years in counseling people and coaching people, and I've never seen it wrong, ever. It's a wonderful little book. So, listen to your body, trust it. Listen to when it wants to sleep, when it wants to eat, when it wants to exercise, how much to do. If you're feeling particularly tired one day, but you go, oh no, I can't sleep. Oh God, that guilt's a terrible thing, isn't it? Go and have a power nap. It's really fascinating. I found a few years ago that for me, I was getting a bit foggy in the brain, just a little bit. I wasn't as sharp as I used to be. And I kept asking, what is it? What is it? I know that my body is telling me something. And then it came to me in meditation that it was time for purification of my body and of my psyche, that I was coming to another threshold. And basically within, I don't know, only a couple of weeks after that message, that was it. Alcohol gave me up. And it's not that I was a big drinker, but the moment that happened, I just felt it, it came over me, and that was it. And from that moment to now, that's probably going on, nearly 3 years now, I can't drink alcohol. It tastes like rocket fuel to me. It's like ethanol. And that's not because I gave up alcohol. Did you hear what I said? Alcohol gave me up because I've really committed myself to tuning myself into my body so much that if it tells me something, I will act on it. Why? Because it knows better than me. It knows better than me. And so this is the relationship. This is the friendship I want with my body. And sure, I can say that now because I've been on the planet over 60 years. I didn't have that relationship 30 years ago. And that's why I do power chats, to help as many people as I can speed up your awakening, speed up your expansion of consciousness. So listen, trust what your body's telling you and act on it. Don't disregard it. Don't ignore it. The third point in developing a really good friendship with your body is to be accepting of it. Okay? Like all of us, like yourself, your body is a work in progress. Be patient with it. Don't go, oh, well, I've stopped drinking now, I should feel better in a week. No. That's putting conditions on everything. Be accepting of your body. However it is, whatever it's doing, however it looks, you're responsible. It's not shooting off there and doing stuff randomly by itself, okay? The fourth thing is to respect your body like you would respect a good friend. Respect your body because your body is here for the long haul, as I said before, no trade-ins. So take care of it, okay? Take care of it. The fifth point is to be supportive. Feed your body the best foods that you can afford. And listen, as you go to eat something, listen to what your body's telling you. And see how your body responds. You know, everybody's off on, and I was one of these people, on a different diet for this, or on a keto diet for that, or on a high fiber diet for this. I mean, there were so many things, and there still are so many things. Stop. Listen, trust, be accepting, be supportive. Listen to what your body likes. How does your body function best? On what foods? And feed it those foods. Feed it the right nutrition and water, lots of water. Sugar, yeah, not so much, okay? But your body will tell you. Be aware, and also understand that if we need sugar, reach for a piece of fruit rather than a sugared drink. The sixth point is to be responsible in the relationship with your body. It's your body, and everything you feel, think, and believe, and energize and enact influences your health and well-being somehow. It does. And people might say, yeah, but what about if you have an accident and you fall over? Yeah, been there, done that, had that happen to me on a few occasions, actually, a few years ago, where I was rushing too fast in my life, or B, not paying attention to where I was going, trip and fall. The answers are there. In many ways, we actually speak them ourselves when we retell somebody of our accident and our injury, you know, out of the mouth of babes. And so be responsible. It is your body, and everything that you are thinking, feeling, energizing, believing, and enacting all influences your health and well-being. And the last point, the really important point, is to be appreciative. When you stand naked in front of that bathroom mirror next time, give yourself some love. I had to practice this for quite some time after my big career catastrophe many years ago, and stand there and look in my eyes and love myself. You know, have Whitney Houston playing in the background, the greatest love of all, and look at me as the greatest love of all. Boy, that takes some practice, because we are not encouraged to do that. We are actually encouraged by the media, by everybody just about, to criticize ourselves, to feel not good enough, to compare ourselves to others and always come up short. No. When you stand in front of the bathroom mirror next time, be appreciative. Appreciate your body. Say thank you out loud. Thank you that I can see. Thank you for my legs that I can walk on. Thank you for my hands, which are free and unencumbered by arthritis. Thank you that I can move. Thank you that I can go from A to B easily. And thank your body. Thank yourself, and start to fall in love with you and with your body. What a wonderful system. You know, corporations are spending billions of dollars trying to build robots. Goodness gracious, why don't we give that a rest for a minute and stand and love ourselves for the most brilliant operating system known to humanity? We can never match this. And yet we shift our focus trying to do that, rather than bringing our focus back to this magnificent, discernible presence of energy. I've worked with a lot of people who actually do have a number of difficult situations that they've developed through repeated low frequency energy, particularly with people who have been through abusive situations, and they carry that abuse loaded deep into the cells of their body, and they create all sorts of cancers mainly. And there is one really powerful affirmation I'd like to share with you tonight. I've shared it before, but it's worth sharing again. And this affirmation reads, I authorize my body to release whatever is not necessary to its perfect functioning, and I withdraw all prior conscious and unconscious authorizations to the contrary. I'll repeat it again in a moment. Do you notice that that affirmation speaks nothing about illness, sickness, or disease? It talks to the power of the authority that we have as energetic beings having a human experience. I authorize my body to release whatever is not necessary to its perfect functioning, and I withdraw any prior conscious or unconscious authorization to the contrary. That affirmation is so powerful, and when you feel it, because you have to feel it, just saying it isn't going to do it for you. When you feel that and you authorize your body and you actually load that in energetically, and you continue using that as a tool to reveal your perfect health and well-being, it is very powerful. As I said previously, our body is a remarkable operating system, and when we nourish our energetic physiology by listening, trusting, accepting, respecting, supporting, responding and appreciating our body, it responds in kind by demonstrating super health and well-being. So, if there's any questions, I'm going to shoot over here now to see if I've got any questions. And yes, Tracy says, and for mothers, obviously, and to thank the body for the gift of birthing, in her case, 2 beautiful beings in the world. Yes, for ladies, wow, what a brilliant operating system that is, seriously. A great topic tonight, thank you. Would you write that affirmation as a post? Yes, I will. As soon as we finished here, I will jot that down into the comments for you so you've got it. Really enjoyed and appreciate your power chats. Thanks, Robin, that's terrific. All right, everybody, if you liked this video, please, you can jump onto my YouTube channel, Diane 𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒈 on YouTube, and you can watch other episodes of previous Power Chats. Also, check out my websites, dianedemetri.com and mastermindset.com.au for lots of free resources. There's some affirmations up there. Then there's my Master Mindset book you can get, or my Mindset Mastery Assessment, and I'll be putting more free resources up there as well too. So thank you very much for joining us tonight. Most important thing is, next time you're in front of that mirror, stop and love that body. Really important. Thanks very much, everybody. Have a great week, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.